Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speak English Corner. It's so good to have you here again. Today, I want to talk about something that we all think about. Maybe quietly, maybe often. But not many of us truly understand. It's the idea of becoming the best version of yourself. You've probably heard this phrase 1,000 times before. People say it in motivational videos, in books and social media posts. But if you stop for a second and really ask yourself, what does it actually mean? Things get deeper and a bit more personal. Because here's the truth. Becoming your best self doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean having the best job, the best body, or the best social life. It doesn't even mean being better than other people. It simply means becoming more of who you really are, when you're not trying to impress anyone, when you're not pretending, when you're just honest with yourself. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you felt completely at peace, like you were doing exactly what you were meant to do? Maybe it was when you were helping someone, or when you worked hard on something that mattered to you, or when you finally forgave yourself for something in the past. That version of you, calm, kind, focused, and authentic. That's the best version of yourself, and it's already inside you. You see, the best self isn't some final destination, waiting at the end of your journey. It's not a perfect future, version of you that magically appears once. You've achieved everything. It's not something you find one day, it's something you create little by little, through your daily choices. Every time you choose courage over comfort, every time you choose to learn instead of staying stuck, every time you choose kindness instead of judgment, that's when you're becoming your best self. It's not a loud transformation. It's quiet, gentle, and deeply personal. You don't need the world to notice it, because it's something you feel inside, in the way you live, think, and treat others. But of course, it's not always easy. We live in a world that constantly tells us who we should be. Social media shows us people who look happier, richer, more successful, and it's easy to feel like you're not enough, like you're falling behind. But remember, you're not in competition with anyone else. The only person you need to be better than is the one you were yesterday. Growth doesn't mean becoming someone new. It means becoming more real, more honest, more intentional, more you. Think of life as a long, winding road. There will be moments when you run, moments when you walk, and moments when you just sit down to rest. And that's perfectly fine, because every step, fast or slow, is still a part of becoming your best self. And here's something beautiful to remember. Your best self will change over time. Who you were 5 years ago might not be who you are today, and that's okay. Because growth means evolution. The person you are becoming now might look completely different in the future, and that's how it's supposed to be. So, as we begin this journey today, I want you to keep one simple question in your heart. Who am I becoming? Not what am I achieving, not how do I compare to others, but who am I becoming, deep inside, through the choices I make every day? In this episode, we'll explore that journey together, step by step, We'll talk about self-awareness, how to truly understand yourself. We'll talk about letting go of limiting beliefs that hold you back. We'll talk about building habits that quietly shape your character. And we'll talk about surrounding yourself with positivity, the kind of environment that helps you grow. By the end of this episode, I hope you'll see that becoming your best self is not some impossible dream. It's a daily practice, a mindset, a quiet commitment to keep growing, even when it's hard. So, if you're ready, grab your coffee, your tea, or maybe just a deep breath, and let's begin this journey of becoming the best version of yourself. Together. If you really want to become your best self, you have to start from the inside, and that begins with one simple but powerful thing: self-awareness. Self-awareness is like holding up a mirror, not to your face, but to your mind and heart. It's about understanding why you think the way you do, why you feel certain emotions, and why you react in particular ways to the world around you. You see, most people go through life on autopilot. They wake up, go to work, scroll through their phones, meet people, talk, laugh, sleep, and then do it all over again the next day, but they rarely stop to ask themselves why they do what they do, and that's where growth begins. And when you finally pause long enough to listen to yourself, self-awareness is like turning on a light in a dark room. The room was always there, your fears, your dreams, your habits, but you couldn't really see them before. Now, when the light comes on, you start noticing things you didn't before. Some of them are beautiful. Some might be uncomfortable, but all of them are you. When you know yourself deeply, you stop being lost in the noise of the world. You stop living by what other people expect from you. You start making choices that actually align with your values, your energy, your purpose. And that's where true confidence begins. Not from pretending to be perfect, but from knowing exactly who you are. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where you reacted strongly? Maybe with anger, sadness, or frustration, and later thought, why did I respond like that? That moment right there is a doorway to self-awareness. It's your inner self saying, hey, there's something here you need to understand. Maybe your anger wasn't really about that situation. Maybe it came from an old wound or a hidden fear. When you take time to reflect instead of just react, you start uncovering the layers of who you are. And yes, and that process can be uncomfortable. Sometimes you'll discover patterns that you don't like. You might realize that you've been avoiding certain truths or chasing things that don't actually make you happy. But don't run away from that discomfort, because that's where growth lives. Think of it like tending a garden. You can't grow new flowers unless you first see where the weeds are. You have to notice what needs care, what needs pruning, and what needs to go. That's exactly what self-awareness does. It gives you clarity, so you can nurture what truly matters. Now, you might ask, how can I become more self-aware? Here are a few gentle ways to start. First, spend time alone without distractions. No phone, no music, no noise, just you and your thoughts. It might feel strange at first, but silence is where you hear your truest voice. Second, try journaling. Write about your day, your emotions, your wins, and your struggles. Don't worry about grammar or making it sound nice, just write honestly. Sometimes, putting your thoughts on paper helps you see them more clearly. Third, ask for feedback from people who love you enough to tell you the truth. Not the kind of truth that hurts, but the kind that helps you grow. Listen without defending yourself. You might be surprised by what you learn. And fourth, practice mindfulness. Mindfulness simply means being aware of what's happening right now, how your body feels, what your mind is thinking, what emotion is present. Instead of judging it, just observe. Because awareness always comes before change. As you get to know yourself better, you'll notice something magical happens. You start making decisions more confidently. You stop comparing yourself so much to others. You start feeling more peaceful, even when things don't go perfectly, because now you're living from the inside out, not the other way around. And here's the most beautiful part. Self-awareness doesn't make you self-centered. It actually makes you more empathetic. When you understand your own emotions and struggles, you begin to understand others too. You realize everyone is fighting their own silent battles. That awareness softens you. It makes you kinder, more patient, and more human. Let me share a short reflection. Imagine standing in front of a calm lake early in the morning. The surface is still, almost like glass. You can see your reflection so clearly. That's what self-awareness feels like. Quiet, honest, and revealing. But when the water is full of ripples, stirred by distractions, fears, and noise, your reflection becomes blurry. You can't really see yourself. That's why slowing down matters. Because when you calm your mind, clarity returns. And in that clarity, you rediscover yourself. So remember this. You cannot change what you don't understand. And you cannot grow into your best self without first seeing yourself. Clearly, self-awareness is not a one-time thing. It's a lifelong practice, a daily conversation with yourself. Ask, listen, reflect, adjust, again and again. Because every moment of awareness brings you closer to the person you're meant to become. So as we move forward in this journey, I want you to carry this question with you. What part of myself do I need to understand better? That question alone, if you're brave enough to sit with it, can change your life. There's something that silently holds many people back from becoming their best selves. It's not a lack of time, not a lack of talent, not even a lack of opportunity. It's something much quieter. Something that lives inside the mind. They're called limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are the invisible walls you build in your mind, the quiet sentences that whisper, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. People like me don't succeed. And over time, those whispers become your reality. It's strange, isn't it? How sometimes the biggest obstacles we face are not outside of us, but within us. When you were a child, you probably believed you could do anything. You dreamed freely. You tried new things without fear. If you fell, you got back up. Again and again. But somewhere along the way, life taught you to doubt yourself. Maybe someone said you weren't smart enough, or talented enough. Maybe you failed once, and that failure left a mark. Or maybe you just compared yourself to others and felt small. Those moments plant seeds, tiny, invisible seeds of doubt, and as the years go by, they grow roots. They start shaping the way you see yourself. They tell you what's possible and what's not, and before you realize it, they become your truth. Let me share a simple story. Once, there was an elephant who was tied to a small rope from the day it was born. When it was young, the elephant tried to pull away again and again, but the rope was strong, and it couldn't break free. After many failed attempts, the elephant stopped trying. Years later, even as a massive, powerful adult, that same elephant still stood quietly tied to the same tiny rope because it believed it couldn't break it. That's what limiting beliefs do. They make you believe the rope is still strong, when in truth, you've outgrown it long ago. So how do you let go of those beliefs? How do you rewrite the stories you've been telling yourself? The first step is to recognize them. You can't let go of something you don't see. So start by paying attention to your inner dialogue, those small thoughts that say, I'm too old, it's too late. I'm not ready, or it'll never work for me. Write them down. Don't judge them. Just observe them, because awareness is always the beginning of change. The second step is to question them. Ask yourself, is this belief really true? Who told me this? Do I have proof, or is it just fear speaking? Most of the time, you'll realize those beliefs are not based on facts. They're based on past experiences, moments that hurt you, moments when you failed, moments when you were scared, but your past is not your destiny. It's just a chapter, not the whole book. Let's say you once failed a test, and now you believe you're not smart enough. That's a story, not a fact. You can change that story anytime you choose to start again. The third step is to replace those beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I can learn how to do this. Instead of saying, it's too late for me, say, it's never too late to start. And instead of saying, I'm not good enough, say, I'm growing. And that's enough for now. The mind believes what you tell it most often. So feed it kindness, feed it truth, feed it hope. At first, it might feel fake, almost like you're lying to yourself. But remember, you've been repeating negative beliefs for years. So of course, positivity will feel unfamiliar, but if you keep repeating it, day after day, your mind will start to believe it, and once it believes, everything changes. Letting go of limiting beliefs is not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about shifting your focus from what's holding you back to what's possible for you. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to stop letting fear make all the decisions, because fear will always whisper, what if you fail? But your heart, the brave, quiet part of you, will always whisper back, what if you fly? Here's a gentle exercise I want you to try this week. Take a piece of paper and write down 3 limiting beliefs you often tell yourself. Maybe it's something like, I'm not confident enough, or I'll never be successful. Now, Beside each one, write a new, empowering belief to replace it. Something like, I'm learning to become more confident, or I'm capable of creating my own version of success. Read those new beliefs every morning for a week. You'll be amazed at how your mindset slowly starts to shift. When you let go of limiting beliefs, you make room for growth, creativity, and self-trust. You stop living small. You stop waiting for permission to shine. You begin to realize that the person you always wanted to be has been waiting inside you all along. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about removing what was never truly you. The doubts, the fears, the false stories, until all that remains is your real self. And that, my friend, is when you start to become unstoppable. Let's be honest. Every big change in life doesn't happen overnight. It's not one magical moment or one sudden decision that turns your life around. It's the little things. The quiet, repetitive actions you take every day, even when no one's watching. That's the real secret. Your habits build your future. They are the invisible architecture shaping who you become. 1. The power of small actions. You see, we often dream big. We want to become confident, disciplined, successful, and that's beautiful. But the bridge between who you are and who you want to be isn't made of dreams. It's made of small daily actions, habits, that seem simple but are deeply powerful. Imagine this. Every morning, you choose to make your bed. It seems meaningless, right? But that tiny action builds momentum. It whispers to your brain, I can start my day with order. I can take control. And that mindset quietly spreads to other parts of your life. One small habit often leads to another, like a domino effect. You wake up early, you feel calm, you plan your day, you achieve more, you sleep better, and before you even realize it, your life starts to shift in a new direction. 2. Why habits matter more than motivation. Here's something people often misunderstand. Motivation isn't enough. Motivation is like a spark. It's bright, exciting, and it gets you started, but habits, they're like the steady flame that keeps burning long after the spark fades. When you rely only on motivation, you'll act only when you feel like it. But if you rely on habits, you'll act even when you don't feel like it. That's how growth happens, quietly, consistently, day by day. Think of brushing your teeth. You don't need to be inspired to do it. You just do it because it's part of your life. Automatic. Natural. That's how you want your healthy, productive routines to feel. 3. Start small. Stay consistent. Many people fail because they start too big. They try to change everything at once. Wake up at 5 a.m. Work out an hour, meditate, journal, read, study, eat clean, all in 1 week, and after a few days, they burn out. Because the brain doesn't like drastic change. It prefers small, safe, gradual adjustments. So instead of trying to change your whole life in one go, just start with one thing. Wake up 15 minutes earlier. Read 5 pages of a book each night. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Simple, right? But if you stay consistent, these little actions compound. They grow stronger, like roots spreading quietly under the ground, and until one day, you realize you've become someone new. 4. Identity-based habits. Now here's a deeper truth. Habits aren't just about what you do. They're about who you believe you are. For example, instead of saying, I want to read more, say, I'm a person who loves learning. Instead of, I want to exercise, say, I'm someone who takes care of my body. See the difference? You're not just forcing yourself to change your behavior, you're shifting your identity. And when your identity changes, your actions naturally follow. This mindset removes pressure. You're no longer chasing perfection. You're living in alignment with who you want to become. 5. The habit. Every habit follows a simple loop. Cue, routine, reward. When you understand this, you can design habits that actually work for you. For example, cue. You set your running shoes by the door. Routine. You go for a short jog. Reward. You feel refreshed and proud. Your brain loves rewards, even small ones. So celebrate your wins, no matter how tiny. Smile when you finish a task. Say to yourself, good job. I showed up today. These small celebrations build emotional momentum, reinforcing your behavior until it becomes part of who you are. 6. Replace. Don't erase. Here's a common mistake. People try to break bad habits by pure willpower. But willpower alone rarely works, because habits leave emotional traces. The trick isn't to erase a habit, but to replace it. If you usually scroll your phone at night, replace that habit with reading 1 page of a book instead. If you snack when stressed, try taking a short walk or listening to calming music. Your brain needs something to fill the space that old habits leave behind. By replacing, you're gently redirecting your behavior rather than fighting against it. 7. Patience and compassion. Let's be real. Building new habits takes time. Some days you'll miss your routine. You'll feel lazy, distracted, or unmotivated. And that's okay. You're human. Growth isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up again after you fall. So instead of saying, I failed, try saying, I slipped. But I'm still becoming the person I want to be. Be patient with yourself. The greatest transformations often happen slowly, like dawn breaking after a long night. 8. The compound effect of habits. Here's something beautiful. The smallest habits, repeated daily, create results far greater than you can imagine. Drinking more water each day improves your energy. Reading a few pages daily changes your mindset. Practicing gratitude every night rewires your brain for happiness. Each small choice might seem invisible today, but in 1 year, 2 years, you'll look back and see how much you've grown. Because your future self is built on what you do right now. Not someday. Not next month, not when life feels easier. But today, in the quiet. Ordinary moments that seem unimportant. 9. Becoming through doing. At the end of the day, you don't find your best self, you build it. With every habit, every small decision, every act of self-discipline. Each time you choose growth over comfort, you're casting a vote for the person you wish to become. And someday, you'll look back and realize you didn't just dream of becoming your best self, you lived it step by step, habit by habit. Your habits are like the brush strokes of a painting, each one small and simple on its own, but together they create a masterpiece. So keep painting, keep showing up, because every tiny, consistent act is shaping the most beautiful version of you, one day at a time. There's a saying that goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It might sound simple, but when you think deeply, it's incredibly true. Because whether we realize it or not, the people and environment around us quietly shape who we become. Their words influence how we think. Their energy affects how we feel, and their habits slowly begin to mirror in our own lives. 1. The invisible power of environment. Think about it. If you place a healthy plant in a dark room with no sunlight, no matter how strong it is, it won't grow. It's not the plant's fault. It's the environment, and we're the same. You can have the greatest potential in the world, but if you surround yourself with negativity, with people who drain your energy, with chaos and criticism, your growth becomes harder. That's why creating a positive environment isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. You can't grow strong roots in toxic soil. So ask yourself gently, what kind of energy fills your space right now? Does it uplift you or exhaust you? Does it inspire you to grow or keep you stuck where you are? 2. Choose your circle wisely. We often underestimate how powerful influence is. If you spend time with people who complain, gossip, or always expect the worst, eventually, that mindset seeps into you. Negativity spreads quietly, like smoke filling a room. But if you're around people who dream, who encourage, who genuinely want to see others win, that energy lifts you higher without you even realizing it. It's not about cutting people off or judging anyone harshly. It's about choosing alignment. Being around those who remind you of your strength, not your limits. You deserve a circle that celebrates your small wins, that challenges you to grow, that believes in you even when you doubt yourself. And when you find those people, hold on to them. Because true positive connections are rare, but they are the foundation of a fulfilling life. 3. Protecting your energy positivity isn't just about smiling or pretending everything's okay. It's about protecting your inner peace. It's knowing when to say no to things that drain you, conversations, habits, or even people who leave you feeling smaller every time you're around them. You don't owe anyone your constant availability, your mental space, or your emotional energy. You can love people from a distance and still protect your peace. Protecting your energy is not selfish, and it's self-respect, because your energy is sacred. And every time you choose peace over chaos, you're saying to yourself, I matter. 4. The energy of places. Sometimes, positivity isn't just about people, it's also about places. Think about how certain environments make you feel. A quiet coffee shop with soft music, a park filled with sunshine and trees, a clean, organized desk that makes you want to start something new. Now compare that to a cluttered, noisy space filled with distractions and unfinished tasks. The difference is almost physical. You feel lighter, calmer, more inspired in positive spaces. That's why curating your surroundings matters. You don't need a perfect home or expensive decor. Start simple. Light a candle. Keep your space tidy, add a plant near your desk, play music that soothes you little by little. Your outer space will start reflecting your inner peace. And you'll notice, when your environment feels good, your thoughts do too. 5. Digital positivity, the silent influence in today's world. Your circle isn't only physical, it's digital too. The content you consume, the accounts you follow, the voices you listen to every day, they all shape your mindset. So take a moment to reflect. Does what you scroll through online inspire you or drain you? Do you follow people who make you compare or people who make you grow? Unfollow noise. Follow growth. Fill your digital world with things that feed your mind, not your insecurity. When your social media becomes a space of learning, creativity, and encouragement, your mental space becomes lighter too. Remember, you can't heal in the same environment that made you doubt yourself. Sometimes, the first step to peace is simply curating what you allow in. 6. Being a source of positivity. Yourself. Now here's something truly beautiful. When you surround yourself with positivity, you naturally start to become it. You begin to speak kinder words. You smile more often. You listen with empathy instead of judgment. Positivity isn't something you wait to receive. It's something you radiate. And when you share that warmth with others, a compliment, a moment of patience, a word of encouragement, you become part of someone else's safe space too. The energy you give always returns. Kindness multiplies quietly in ways you can't always see. Maybe you're gentle. Words stop someone from giving up. Maybe your calm presence helps someone find their own peace. You might never know, but the ripple effect of positivity is real and endless. 7. Gratitude. As the core of positivity at the heart of every positive, life lies one powerful habit: gratitude. It's not about ignoring what's wrong. It's about focusing on what's right. When you start appreciating the small things, the morning sunlight, a warm cup of tea, a text from a friend, your brain shifts from lack to abundance. You begin to realize life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. Gratitude grounds you. It helps you stay present. And most importantly, it helps you see how far you've already come. So maybe tonight, before you sleep, just whisper quietly to yourself, I'm thankful for today. For the little things. For the people who make me feel seen. That simple moment can change your entire outlook. 8. The vibration of growth positivity isn't just an emotion, and it's a vibration. You can feel it in certain people and places. It's calm, grounded, hopeful. When you live in that vibration, when you focus on what uplifts you, you naturally attract more of it. More opportunities, more peace, more genuine connections. It's not magic. It's alignment. The energy you send out is the energy that returns to you. So fill your life with light. Speak kindly. Be around those who remind you of your worth, not your wounds. Because when your environment glows with positivity, your soul starts to bloom again. Your environment is like the soil that your soul grows in. If you water it with kindness, sunlight, and gratitude, you'll flourish. So protect your peace. Choose your people wisely. And remember, positivity isn't something you chase. It's something you create, one choice at a time. Becoming the best version of yourself is not a destination. It's not a single moment where everything finally makes sense. It's not about crossing a finish line and saying, "I've made it." It's a journey, a long, beautiful, imperfect, ever-changing journey. And the truth is, you'll never stop evolving. You'll grow, stumble, heal, and rise over and over again. Because that's what being human really means. 1. The myth of arrival. So many people think that happiness begins when they finally get there, when they have the dream job, the perfect relationship, the ideal version of themselves. But here's something I've learned. There's no final version of you. There's only a growing version, one that keeps learning, keeps adjusting, keeps becoming. Life is not about perfection. It's about progress. The best version of yourself isn't flawless. It's real, grounded and aware. It's the version that keeps trying even when it's hard, that forgives, that learns, that starts again. So maybe the question isn't, when will I become my best self? But rather, how can I show up as a little better version of myself today? 2. The beauty of small steps. We often underestimate the power of small, consistent actions, but it's those tiny, quiet steps taken every day that shape who we become. It's choosing to wake up a bit earlier to meditate or read. It's writing that one paragraph of your dream project. It's choosing kindness in a moment when anger feels easier. Growth isn't loud. It's steady. And progress doesn't always feel like progress. Sometimes it feels like standing still. Sometimes it feels like taking one step forward and 2 steps back. But if you're trying, if you're reflecting, learning, and continuing, then you're already on the right path. You're already growing. 3. Self-compassion. Over perfection along this journey, one of the greatest lessons you'll ever learn is self-compassion. Because there will be days when you'll feel lost, unmotivated, or even like you're going backward. And that's okay. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to not have everything figured out. You are allowed to be a work in progress. Self-growth doesn't mean constantly improving every second. It means accepting yourself fully. even on the days when you fall short. The best version of you is not someone who never fails. It's someone who keeps believing in themselves even after they do. So when your inner critic whispers that you're not enough, answer gently, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. And that's enough for today. 4. The seasons of growth, personal growth, is like the changing seasons. There will be seasons of spring, where everything feels new, full of hope and energy. There will be summer, where things flow easily and you feel alive. There will be autumn, where you let go of what no longer serves you. And there will be winter, quiet and still, where nothing seems to move. But deep inside, transformation is happening. Every season has a purpose, even the hard ones, because in winter, your roots grow deeper. In pain, your strength takes shape. And in stillness, your clarity returns. So trust your seasons. Don't rush your becoming. You're not behind. You're right where you need to be. 5. Your journey. Your pace. It's easy to compare yourself to others, to their successes, their confidence, their progress. But everyone's journey unfolds differently. Some people bloom early, some later. Some find their passion at 20, others at 40. It doesn't matter. Your timeline is yours, and the best thing you can do is honor it. Walk it at your own pace, with your own rhythm. The most peaceful moments in life often come when you stop racing others and start walking your own path with intention. So keep moving forward, even slowly, because direction matters more than speed. 6. The ripple effect of growth. When you work on becoming the best version of yourself, you don't just change your own life, you change the world around you. Your kindness inspires others to be kind. Your courage gives someone else permission to try. Your healing helps others believe that healing is possible. 2. That's the magic of growth. It ripples outward. You may never see all the ways you've impacted others, but your light matters more than you think. Every time you choose peace over anger, love over fear, effort over comfort, you make the world a little better. 7. Keep becoming. So as you continue on this journey, remember this. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to rush. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep becoming, keep learning, reflecting, and showing up with an open heart. Because life isn't about finding the perfect version of yourself. It's about embracing every version along the way. The brave one, the tired one, the healing one, the growing one. They all belong to you, and someday when you look back, you'll realize the best version of you wasn't a moment you reached. It was the journey you lived. Every single day you chose to keep going. 8. Final reflection. So tonight, or maybe after you finish listening to this episode, I invite you to take a quiet moment, breathe deeply, close your eyes, and whisper to yourself, I'm not who I used to be, and I'm not yet who I'll become, but I'm growing, and that's enough. Because that quiet, honest awareness is what makes you unstoppable. Keep becoming, my friend. Keep walking your path with gentleness and strength. The journey may never be perfect, but it will always be worth it. You are not a finished story. You are a beautiful work in progress, and every chapter, even the messy ones, deserves to be loved.